5,6, ora è 4,8. 5,6 va bene così? Vuoi che l'abbasso? È un Caravaggio. Ok, grazie.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. Conversation with the director and the crew of The Vanishing Soldier. I'm happy to introduce you our guests, starting with the producers, Avram Pirhi and Hilik Michaeli. The main actor, A Star is Born, Ido Taco.
It's going to run.
And of course, the director, Danny Rosenberg. I'm sure our audience has a lot of questions for you. I just start with a few ones. Danny, among the many things that I love about your film is the fact that it's like a journey through different styles. The film starts as a video game, and then it becomes a drama, and there's a love story, and it's a comedy, and it's an action film. And it becomes this very effective and affective portrayal of a society which seems to be totally alienated and spinning out of control. Can you tell us something about how you work, how you envision this complex style for your film?
Well, first of all, I think, I try to imagine it as the many identity of the protagonist of Shlomi has. Because as I see it in the beginning of the film, Shlomi see himself as actually someone that could be in a romantic comedy, but find himself in a nightmare. So I switch genre, if you can say, because I want to deconstruct his identity through the genres, the different genres. But in the end of the day, I have one image in mind that Shlomi is running. And I have one face in mind before Shlomi's face that was Buster Keaton face. So I felt this film like a Buster Keaton film in our reality.
Shlomi runs a lot. Well, a very challenging role, a very physical role for you, Ido. Can you tell us how you work on your character? And before we were talking, and you mentioned that there's also a lot of improvisation in the film. So it would be good to know a bit more how you work with Danny on your character.
So beyond loving Danny as a human and an imaginative and a gentle person, that's the way he approached directing. And I think we were very fortunate that from the beginning of our journey together, we had this deep understanding of the character that we shared. And a lot of the time we didn't have to speak to understand each other. When I was reading the script, I immediately felt this energy. It was a page turner, really like an amazing script. And we just tried to bring this live, almost animalistic energy to the screen. And I think the way that we try to approach it is by creating those moments right here and now in front of the camera and living it. And fortunately, Danny is such an amazing director that his trust in me and the other actors in the crew and the freedom that he gave us to go anywhere was really a key for this character and film.
Thank you. And working with a visionary director like Danny, I think, has a potential for a huge payoff. Well, as we saw in terms of the final film. But I think it's also opens to many challenges. So a question for the producers: what were the challenges in making this film?
Many. First of all, lack of budget, because it's very difficult when you want to put your art full size till the end. It's difficult to raise money. With Danny, it was less difficult because Danny is known for his quality films, but he's also a thinker. Danny always want to improve every scene of his, and it happened to be that after 32 years of production and more than 70 feature films, in the first time of my life, of our life, I mean me and Avram, because we are partners, we shot the same scene 3 times in different days, because he was never been happy from the result. So he asked me, Chilik, I need to do it again. I said, why? We already did it. So he said, because I'm not happy. So I said, this is part of our job to make you happy because it's your film. So we did it again. Then the next time he said, okay, it's good, but I want it to be better. So I said, Danny, we are short in budget. We cannot add more days to the shoot. Of course, we shot the 3rd time. But Danny is living and eating and drinking what he's doing. He's like totally into it. And as a producer, there's no way that you cannot collaborate with that, because it's out of passion. And I think you can all know now when I'm talking about, because you have been exposed to the film and you see that everything is made out of passion. This is the reason why Taco eats with passion, laughs with passion. The only passion that he don't have is to war.
Yeah, but I have to say something more about Chilik and Avram, that the passion is their passion also, because, we didn't have all the budget and we didn't have all the time to make the film, but we have their belief in the film, in our script. Amir and I wrote it together, so they believe in our script, and we just go to shoot in reality. And most of the producers, I believe, in the world and in Israel will tell us, you have to close the streets and you have to bring extras and so on. And we didn't do it. We just go to the streets of Tel Aviv and shot the film, without permission, I have to say. And also actually we shot, the beginning of the film on the border with Gaza. And it's only because of those guys.
I want to say another thing. To make a movie, you must realize it's not like this. It's like 1 month, 2 months, and then you have a movie. It takes years to do it. Now, the fact was that when Danny first wrote this script, he was younger. It took him some 9 years or 8 years before we actually shoot the movie. And in the meanwhile, he thought about the script, etc. In a certain point, after we already decided to shoot it, he said, okay, but I don't feel like the young guy I was then. So he actually changed all the script totally, and we had to convince him to go back to this fascinating movie. It took us a lot of energy to do it, but we agreed, all of us. And in the end, we have this amazing, I said, movie. And one more thing I want to say, during the making of a movie, between a director, it's good for him to have somebody that has something to say about the script or the movie. And this debate, actually, this confrontation in a way, creates a better movie. And here we have actually this young guy, the Shlomi, it's all about making a choice, decide between alternatives, what to choose. And this choosing is actually confronting the law, the border, the restrictions. And this creates the drama, actually. And this is in all of yours and our life, we always have this, what to do actually? Can we take this risk to do what we want? What will they say? Or what are the rules? And sometimes these choices are very, very difficult. Thank you.
If there's any question, we have a question over there.
Well, thank you so much for the film, for the movie. We can talk a lot about the context because it's really different for me, but I'm from Argentina, so I'm curious about a bright sense where you put a Mercedes Sosa there singing. It's a really good sense with this dancing with him and her grandmother. Why did you choose a Mercedes Sosa there? Thank you.
Well, I have an answer that maybe will be disappointing because we make a lot of improvisation throughout first the rehearsal and then the shooting. And when we walk with Tiki Dayan, she's the actress that played the grandmother, she told me, and she's very famous in Israel, and she told me, you know, I'm a dancer and I never danced in any film. So we said, okay, let's maybe dance also in the scene, let's try to do something together. And then came the shooting, and they start to dance, but it was a little bit clumsy, and I have to put them something. And in the morning, when I go to the set, so just I love Mercedes Sosa. And I was just listening to Mercedes Sosa at the cab. So I said, okay, so let's see what I have here in my phone. And I just put a play. And I was sure that it will change in the editing many, many times. But actually, in the end, we took the same song that was there in my phone that I really like. And I didn't know the meaning of the words. I didn't know anything about the words because I don't. Yes, and then
It really fixed a lot because it talk about somebody that is coming to his house and it's a muchacho that is a little boy.
yes, and then only then after I screened the film in the editing to some Spanish friend, he told me about it, and I said, "Wow, you know." But this miracle happened in films.
I want to say something. I was once attending a panel with a famous director called Alan Rudolph. And Alan Rudolph said in that panel, he said, the great advantage of first and second time directors that every mistake they are doing is considered to be their style. So I think that this is one of those mistakes that will carry Danny's style further.
Another question here.
Thank you very much for this wonderful film and acting. What made you come up with this idea, the basic idea of the movie?
Well, Amir and I wrote the film for many years, but actually, I can say the basic idea came to me when I was a soldier. It's not really about my life. Actually, it's not about me. But when I was a soldier, I was in a military training in some camp, and I was supposed to guard this camp at night. It was in the middle of the night at the desert, in the Judah desert in Israel. And I was on some tower, burned like now from the sun. And after a couple of weeks of violence, and I just decided to run away. I have then my Walkman, not my iPhone, and I put a song the song that ends the film, and I go down and start to run away. But it was night, and just imagine, desert at night, and I look for the main road, but I didn't find it. It was so black, and the only lights were the lights of the camp behind me. So I returned back, go up the tower, and no one ever knew about this fail runaway.
Oh my God.
Now everybody will know.
Arrest him.
Next question. You have one over there.
First of all, thank you for this wonderful film and this deep experience. In my feeling, the story is not just the story of this soldier, with this individual, this person. It's also the story of your, in my feelings, not an interpretation, is the story of your young country, where the population follows a dream, an ideal, but finds itself in a war which is difficult to stop, to overcome. And this situation is an impossible situation where everything is the ideal, the dream is vanishing.
I want to say that you point addressed a very big issue in this movie, and every time that I'm watching it, and I watched it for probably 30 times, I felt now, because of in this screening, that how come, try to imagine that his mother is insisting of sending him back to the war. Sending him back to the war. You are, as a mothers, it's impossible. You cannot, in our perception, this is impossible. But due to the ethos, due to the situation of the country, due to the fact that they engineered our minds that what is right and what is wrong, we are happily sending our kids to the slaughtery. It's impossible and unimaginable. But this conflict, it's existing. It's in real life. This is the reason why this system is so fucked up. Sorry for being rude.
I want to add to this. I was asked this morning in the press conference this question, and I think there is a duality here, of course, and in a way, this movie reflects the post-traumatic country we live in. We have this symptom of the traumas of our fathers and mothers from the Holocaust, and surrounded by many countries that always want to eliminate us, and you feel always this fear around us, and you are grown up to that, and you have to live with it, and it creates a lot of tense, and in a way we are a very hectic society, and this in culture, of course, and this reflects in the movie. But I want to say also that this is an universal subject, because I'm sure that the young kids in Ukraine, or in Russia for that matter, or in Poland now that there are problems in the border, they have the same. They want to make love, they want to have their life, they want to go to study in the university, they want to have fun in the beach. They don't have in mind, nowadays, I don't think that the cultures today push the youngsters to be warriors, heroes. This is not the case. And somehow we are still pushed to this direction. And the movie, in a way, put a red big flag against this situation. Thank you.
Questions? We have one at the bottom there.
First of all, congratulations on your very, very passionate film. At one of the last scenes, I see just somebody kicking a soldier in uniform. Is it a message that you wanted to send with that scene, or how do people see soldiers after they've been to war. Because I feel something in that, because mostly we see our soldiers as heroes. But what's about that scene, please?
So, I see this scene as a part of maybe the idea that Shlomi tried to run away to escape the war, to escape the violence, but he took the violence with him, and he cannot escape it. And I don't like, to talk about metaphors or to talk about the big thematic things, because I want to focus on the story. But I feel that actually Israel is, in a way, try to escape the violence that she, as a country, that Israel is making, but the violence is going throughout the civil society already. So we cannot escape it. We cannot say, okay, this is the separation wall, and we ignore what happened with the occupation. We will ignore what happened, what our soldiers are making in Gaza, and when they will return home, so everything will be like in Europe. In the end, this is an illusion, and it will collapse.
I'd like to add, maybe, as a younger representation of Israelis, that I am very proud to be a part of this generation that I think is questioning the game rules and is going for change. And I hope this film will be a part of it.
Yes, and I just have to add for this that in the last couple of months, so in Israel, there's started a very, very big, massive demonstration against the government, and we hope that the young generation will make the change that our generation didn't succeed to do.
Question there?
I think just in this thematic, this couple, these tourist couples, yes, which is nearly a bit cheeky, but it really represents the human mind. At first, they say, yes, we are helping you, you are a hero, and like this, and then when it's really going on the point, they leave him nearly naked.
Yeah.
So I think really it's a question to us all, how we react in certain circumstances, and sometimes it's easy to judge, especially if you're not inside in the situation. And I think you reflect it in this movie in so many ways. So really a big compliment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other question? I see a hand there, and then in the second row.
Oh. Thank you for the very intense and thrilling film. I have a question about, I was wondering, why did you choose to leave the story of Shlomi and Shiri so unresolved? Like when she tells him, okay, let's go back to the living room, we'll find something, we'll figure something out. Cut, he's already in the car. And they never meet again because she already left.
Well, the reason is because Shlomi tried to hold in this story. Shlomi see it as a love story, or actually want to use this love story as a shield, this narrative as a shield. But actually, I felt that he want to hold this narrative when he's in this big fall down. So in the end of the film, I don't believe this love story actually exists. I feel that it's more in his mind than it actually exists. And that's why I want him to be naked without Shiri, and without his parents, without his grandmother, without anyone in the end.
Yes, and here we have the object of desire.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that. Yeah.
So please tell us something about your experience on the film set and also what you think about what Danny just said about do you exist or not? Are you a real love story or is just in Shlomi's mind?
I'll start with the fact that actually the love story already begins behind the set. I think the first time I met Ido, we had matches together. I had matches with other guys, and the minute this guy came up to this room, everyone around us knows that he's gonna be Shlomi. And first of all, I want to say thank you. You're the best partner that I can ever have. Am I allowed to say?
Yes, of course.
Okay,
Of course.
okay. So basically, the end was supposed to be totally different about the story with Shlomi and Shiri. And while they were editing the film, they decided to give it another end. I believe that it was a love story, and Shiri had her conflict in the movie. Would she go with her brain or with her heart? Imagine she had a boyfriend and they broke up because he went to the war, and then suddenly he shows up and he's like, hey, don't move to Canada, stay here. Sorry, like, what the fuck? And she has like this big conflict. I think the love story exists. And I'm happy that it ended the way they decided. It gives the whole movie a whole other end. Yeah.
Yes, I will tell you about the scene that we cut out. So in that scene, she actually goes out in the end after we shout Shiri Shiri. She goes out from the house, but then she said goodbye to him, and I felt that it will be more powerful if this door will be just locked in the end.
I think we had a question here in the second row, right? Yeah.
Thank you. Firstly, I want to commend you for creating a film that really shows very well that no one's a winner on the front lines. And I think that's a very important message, especially these days. And my question would be, what was location scouting like for this film? Because I feel like that's a very interesting aspect of it.
Okay, so I think here's the scouter also. But actually, for me, it was very important to just shoot on locations. So, and that's exactly what we did. We shot at Tel Aviv beach while people were there. We shot at the hospital, in the main hospital in Tel Aviv, while people were there. And actually people were thinking he was injured and tried to help him, really. And give him even money.
Yeah, they gave me money once. I need help.
We bought a motorcycle of 3 wheels, electronic motorcycle. It's small, so you can put the camera on and go in places they won't allow you to go.
Yes, so for example, in the streets of all the pubs, so we just went there and people were, we didn't even know that we are shooting. And so that was the scouting until the end, the shop in the end, that we had another shop, and like sometimes it happened, it just fell down, and we find this shop during the shooting day already, and we ask the seller if it's okay just to shoot a little ending scene of the film with him. And he said, well, okay, but just if you'll not make a noise to the other customers or what, I don't care. And so he's the actor in the film. He's the guy.
And he's amazing.
Yes,
I want to add that with Danny, as I started to say in the first place, everything is challenging. So Shiri's house in the movie was picked up in the very same night that we showed the scene, because we planned to do another street, just parallel street to it. And Danny came to me and said, my mother was the designer of this house, but now when I look at it, it doesn't look as I imagine it. So I want to change it. So try to imagine, camera is on, David, the DP, David, raise your hand. David, the DP, David, the DP, is well prepared. Everything is set. And Danny said, hold it. I want to change the house. So basically, me and Danny, we went in the parallel street. I told him, Danny, what would you like to achieve? He told me, I want something more fancy. So we went to the next street. We saw a house. He told me, this house. I said, okay. It's written here, family name, Chomsky. I said, Chomsky. What the chances that will be Eyal Chomsky, my friend? And he say, 100%. So I knocked the door, never answered. Called him, and he said, yes, this is my house. I said, I want to shoot it. He told me when. I told him now. He said, okay, it's yours.
No, and he was flying the same night.
and this is what we did. But I want to say something about, because we are talking always about ourselves, but we have here a major power of professionals that we owe them 100% of the achievement, because every location, every location, believe you me, this genius DP, David, wave please. This genius DP can make out of the ugliest location the most beautiful place with his professionality and creativity. We have our editor, please raise. I mean,
she's a genius.
She's a genius. She's a genius. I mean, you say that you don't see a flatter person in front of his face, but I don't mind. She's a genius, and all she does is magic. And we have here the lady that did the makeup and hair, the lady that did the wardrobe, the guys for the production, the designer of the production designer, which is here, Ben. And we have also here with us the musician. And if you were listening, raise your hand, raise your hand. Woo! And the musician, it was very, this film leans a lot upon the music and the sound of it. The soundtrack is very, very important. And I think
and unique.
And unique. And he did something with the drums. And I just this morning said in the press conference, and when I first, me and Avram first approached the sales company, they asked us, how's the movie? And I said, and you know what? After they watch it, they said, how's the movie? They said, so this is the rhythm. It's always, it takes you to the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. So thank you. And we have the co-writer of the script, Amir. Wave. And last but not least, we have Noah Regev, which is the head of the Israeli Film Fund that supported this film. Wave. And we cannot even exaggerate, because it's so important. The film couldn't be made without this support. And all the rest of the people that was production team please, Shira, production team, Ziv, production team Dor, production team, please. They are, I mean, film, it's something that you don't do by yourself. You do it with lots of people. Therefore, when you, even for me, I'm a veteran in this industry, 32 years, more than 70 feature films, 600 hours of television. Every time that I see the roller at the end of the film, I'm saying, did I pay for all of those? So many.
The White House.
So thank you guys. This film is yours, as I said in the beginning, and I mean it.
Thank you very much. I'm afraid our time is over. If you have other question, I think you can ask them informally after this. So I...
Well, you want a lot of this guy wants
Another quick one.
Yes.
A quick one.
Last one.
Yes, he's
Yeah.
Okay.
Last one. 1, 2, 1, 2,
1, 2, 1, 2. קודם כל תודה רבה, דני. Thank you very much
oh my
for your
God.
film. I'm Israeli.
Exposed.
I was in Israel, and what was me really, really deep. It's first of all, it's beautiful. You made it a really, really screen. You made a really good film. And for me, what was really deep and that you couldn't, you can then story for many, many soldiers bringing to the screen. And as a soldier in Israel many years ago, I'm living in Switzerland for a while, and I was a many friend who had really the same problem, not problem, but the same experience what they have made. And that, for me, it's really, really important. That is not only to go to the war and what they have after that, and they take it for all his life, the soldier. And I think, Ido, you made it really, really well. And Dani and Amir, bravo. Really, thank you very much. That you made really something for the world, not only for the Israel, but have you said, the time is changed, and not all the people think like 20 years ago. The young people in Israel think a little bit different.
That's right.
And you made it really well. Thank you, Dani. Toda. Toda, Ido.
Thank you.
Thank you very much once again, and congratulations.
Thank you.